The human mind is an amazing instrument. In fact, when you look out at nature, at least this is what I was taught. I don't know the science behind it really or any of that, but I was taught that when you look at nature, if you see green, means there's red there. If you see yellow, it's opposite. It's harmony is going to be there. So when I'm painting, I try to keep that in mind. If I have red, I try to make sure that I have a green somewhere in there, some type of green. And sometimes it really, you have to play around not just with the colors themselves, having red and green, but having maybe a warm red and a cool green, or maybe both of them will be warm temperature, both of them will be cool temperature. It's where you have to play and manipulate a little bit so that you can see what works and when it feels right. So having that color's harmony somewhere nearby will help the brain to be settled. It'll help the viewer to feel better about what they're looking at. That's really what we're doing throughout this. Is there's no necessarily right or wrong way to do something. There are an infinite variety of directions we could go with any single painting. We just have to determine, as the artist, what direction we want to go. What's our light source like? Is it a warm light source like the sun? Is it more of a cool light source in the shade and the north side of a building? Once we determine what our light source is, warm or cool, that's going to have a lot to say about whether our highlights are warm or cool, whether our shadows are warm or cool. A warm light source often means cooler shadows, but not always. And that's the fun thing about all of this. There are no, this is the way it always is. And that's what makes it so intriguing and challenging and worthwhile. So here I'm doing what we were talking about with the color harmonies, taking some yellow and putting it in there. So instead of taking that warm yellow and using it as a highlight on the edges of the petals of the hollyhocks, I'm adding that in right now to the leaves and the plant stalks. And then this is an attempt at warm and cool colors. I like to have a variety of dark and light, warm and cool, detailed and abstract. Just a variety of all kinds of different considerations throughout a painting. Makes it more interesting and fun to look at. Gives the viewer a lot more to come back to. Like with these flowers, I could have just put in some dark hollyhocks, put in a couple of little highlights here and there, given it the impression that these are hollyhocks. Nobody would have questioned whether they were hollyhocks or not. But then that would be it. It'd be dramatic, the light and dark, contrast, all of that. But it wouldn't really have the little subtleties and nuances that give the viewers something more to look at each time they come back. So with a lot of my work, I play with it. Even when I could finish it more quickly, I'll play with it, hoping that I don't overwork it, but at the same time, trying to give it a little bit something more of what I consider more of value for the viewer. They can come in and say, wow, I didn't really notice that before. You know, it's not possible to, I don't know, we could spend forever on one little painting trying to get too much of that going, I suppose. But if I can do some back and forth, working it and adding in little extras, then I'll do as much as I can in the time I give myself. With a 5x7, I know that if I work it for 2 days, then I've overworked it. I have to finish this in a matter of hours. Anywhere from generally 2 to 4 or 5 hours is what I'll spend on a 5x7. So in that time, I try to get as much little fun stuff going on in there as I can. Thanks for stopping by. Now get out there and paint your own masterpiece. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in any of my videos, just go to my website at inmanfinearts.com and you can find them all there. Have a great day painting.